what is going on, everybody? My name is Payne, and welcome back to another anime review video. And it's about time. It's about time that I made another one of these videos. It's been a couple of weeks. A lot of stuff has happened. Specifically, my 18th birthday was just recently, and I got all this new stuff, including this new camera. And I'm going to be trying it out with a new editing software. So, that's going to be fun to try out after I finish making this video. And that's the reason why I've been off the camera for a little bit, and I've actually tried talking about it on social media about what I've been doing over the past couple weeks. And like I said, it revolved around my 18th birthday. I went to Vegas, which was the best and the worst thing that I've ever experienced. Definitely is up there. And I also watched a lot of shows. And speaking of shows that I've watched, specifically anime from this season, looks like they're going to be coming to an end. So this is going to be, there's going to be certain points in the year where new anime are going to come out and old anime are going to finish, in terms of like the new anime season is going to be finishing up, and this is one of those times, late September, early October. And so my plan for this is that I'm going to be reviewing all the shows that I watched that came out in this past anime season, was it summer of 2018. Some of the shows, I'm not going to count any shows that were like the third season of a series, like Attack on Titan Season 3, as well as many others. But the first one I want to start at is easily one of my favorite shows, alongside Neon Genesis Evangelion, if you see my channel long enough, and a bunch of others, is My Hero Academia. So it is with that in mind that I decided that I was going to start a little project, and that is that considering that My Hero Academia will be ending its third season in a couple of weeks, I decided that I will be making 3 separate videos reviewing each season of My Hero Academia. This video is going to be reviewing Season 1. The next video on my channel will be reviewing Season 2. And I can say that the Season 3 review will come out. I am not confident on whether it'll come out as 3 videos consecutively, or there'll probably be like a separate review that'll be between Seasons 2 and 3 because of how long Season 3 is going to be out for. Another reason why I'm making these videos is because, again, My Hero Academia is one of my all-time favorite shows, and recently this show has grown into what I call a Naruto level of popularity, as people have been showing their love for the show through cosplay and fan art. But with every show that becomes mainstream, there's also some parts of the fan base that are very toxic, with some fans' distaste for certain characters and various heated shipping wars. One example is, for a while, this thing. This has nothing to do with My Hero Academia, but for a while people thought it did. And for anyone who doesn't know what the Momo challenge is, I suggest you look it up. This is not the video where I'm going to be talking about it, but yeah, there were people who thought that this was a like an in real life version of one of the characters in the show. My point is that with the ever-growing popularity of the show, there is going to be more and more people who don't know what the show is about, because that either they've lagged so far behind because they just found out about it, or they just stopped and were never really interested in it. This is one of those shows where you're going to see those 2 types of people, and I've met those 2 types of people. The people who like this show and catch up on either the anime, the manga, or both to see if anything happens. Also the people who don't like this show, mainly because of the fan base, and doesn't give the show a chance. I don't really blame them for not giving the show a chance if what they've seen is true. But this video is basically for the people who are confused about what is in this show, for people who've never really caught up. Let this video be your chance to catch up on exactly what happened in this show. Oh yeah, did I forget to mention that Momo can move? God, that's not terrifying. But all creepy shit aside, let's just get into the video and let's start this project. The one, the only, Season 1 of My Hero Academia. My Hero Academia, also known as Boku no Hero Academia, is an adventure, comedy, and fantasy anime directed by Kenji Nagasaki, written by Yusoke Kuroda. It was made by the studio Bones. It aired in the spring of 2016 and consisted of 13 episodes. It started as a manga written by the one, the only, the myth, the legend, Kohei Horikoshi that produced 19 volumes since 2014 and that have gained a lot of popularity after the success of superhero anime like One Punch Man, and you can argue Mob Psycho 100 is also on that list as well, and since then, 2 more manga series have been made, 2 games have been made here in the United States, and a feature film has come out called My Hero Academia: The Two Heroes. In addition to the TV series, it is said to be set between the 2nd and 3rd season of the show. As for the show, it takes place in a world where 80% of the world's population has superpowers, which are known as quirks, and it follows a high school kid named Izuku Midoriya, whose goal is to become a hero just like his all-time idol, All Might, but the problem is that he wasn't born with a quirk. After being attacked by a villain one day, he is saved by none other than All Might, but later discovers his true form of that of a frail, emancipated man who suffered a massive injury years ago from a deadly villain. After finding out about this, All Might tells Izuku that he should just rather give up on his plan and focus on a more realistic dream. Disheartened, Izuku makes his way home, only to see his classmate slash friend slash bully Katsuki Bakugo attacked by a villain, and with no heroes around able to fight the villain, Izuku, again, without a quirk and without any thought given into it, rushes in to try and save him. After seeing Izuku's efforts to save him, All Might tells him about his quirk, known as One for All, which is a special quirk that transfers its strength from person to person. And while All Might believes Izuku to be worthy of this quirk, giving it to him right away wouldn't be good for his body. That is when he designs a 10-month training regimen to ensure that Izuku can become a vessel that can carry the quirk, as he proves to All Might throughout these 10 months that he is the right person for the job to carry the responsibility that is One for All. After the 10-month training, Izuku signs up for the practical exam at the prestigious UA High School, the school where All Might went to, and is said to be where the top superheroes in Japan went to school as well. But after not producing a good score, not being able to control his quirk, and the fact that he saved another exam member from serious injury, more on that later, he fears that he didn't make the cut. But in easily one of the most emotional scenes in the entire series, definitely got to me, Izuku finds out through a video on his computer that not only did he find out that All Might himself was a teacher at UA High School, but that he also got in as well. It is a very, very emotional scene. For anyone who has not seen the show, I suggest you watch up till that point, because it is worth it. As his first day of UA begins, we are introduced to a flurry of characters that attend Class 1A with him. And what I'm going to do is I'm not only going to try and go quick with naming off the rest of the classmates, I also found some nicknames that fit them pretty well and would hopefully make sense to people who have never seen the show before. So we are going to start with Bakugo Katsuki, aka, I'm sorry for this, Hiroshima. Why? It is because his quirk is explosion. He can explode stuff. Basically, it allows his palm sweat to become nitroglycerin and explode when he wants to. Our next one is Ochako Araka, who is the girl that Izuku saved in the practical exam. Is Ochako, aka Pink Cheeks, or Round Face, I don't know, it depends on my mood. Her quirk allows her to make any object she touches with her fingertips float into the air, although she will become nauseous if she uses the ability too much, and we do see that a couple of times as the series goes on. There is Tenya Aida, aka Four Eyes, aka Thunder Thighs, the class president, whose quirk is known as Engine, which gives him super speed via jet engines in his legs. There is Shoto Todoroki, aka Icy Hot, aka Goldilocks, whose quirks makes the left side of his body control fire and the right side control ice, though overuse of one side would cause him to overheat or become frostbitten. Next, there is Yuga Aoyama, aka David Bowie, whose quirk allows him to fire a laser blast from his belly button, but cannot shoot it for longer than a few seconds, or it will cause an upset stomach. Our next one is Tsuyu Asui, aka Froppy, aka the multi-purpose tongue, and also the topic of the Nightmare Fuel that I showed you earlier, whose quirk is, she's basically a frog. It gives her a frog-like appearance and abilities such as superior swimming, sticking to and climbing vertical walls, superhuman leaping, and numbing venom, which is, so far we only find that out in the manga. I don't know if it shows it in the anime yet, but I guess we gotta wait. The next one is Momo, Yaoyorozu, aka X-Creation, whose quirk is possessing the ability to create any non-biological objects of her choosing as long as she knows their molecular structures. Our next one is Mezo Shoji, aka what happens when you watch way too much hentai. And basically what it is that his quirk allows him to grow individual body organs at the tip of both of his arms and both of his legs. You can see how hentai can get in the middle of that. Oh god, I can just hear people writing fanfiction about Shoji at this point. There is Eijiro Kirishima, aka Hardboy, aka Stiffy, whose quirk is basically the human version of the Metapod use Harden meme that we keep seeing from the Pokemon games. Our next one is Mina Ashido, easily, for a long time, the most popular character among cosplayers out of the cast of My Hero Academia, aka Pinky, aka Burning Lube, because her quirk makes her able to shoot acid from her body, as well as controlling its corrosive strength and stickiness. There is Toru Hagakure, aka Working Nude, who has a quirk that makes her invisible. And the reason why I picked this nickname is because, except while she's in school, she mostly walks around nude to fully utilize her quirk, but keeps on a pair of gloves and a pair of boots so people can know she is there. Our next one is Kyoko Jiro, aka Not iPhone Compatible, whose quirk allows her to plug her earlobes into headphone jacks and listen to sounds or to transmit the sound of her own heartbeat, capable of reaching explosive levels. So basically she can blow shit up with her cords in her ears. That's actually pretty cool. There is Minori Mineta, aka the Purple Pervert, aka the Grapist, because he is the most perverted member of Class 1A, whose quirk allows him to grow strongly adhesive and detachable purple hairballs from his head. Yeah, I cannot find a better way to say that. Denki Kaminari, aka Battery Life. He is the playboy of the group, who quirks allows him to absorb electricity, but when he uses too much, and this is for less of a better term, he loses chromosomes temporarily, but eventually gets them back. Our next one is Fumikage Tokoyami, whose quirk gives him the control of a sentient shadow that has a variety of uses, from attacking to defense to support. And within a dark environment, his shadow becomes more powerful but harder to control. We find this out in Season 3. But vice versa, if he's in an environment with a lot of light, it becomes easier to control, but is far weaker than it is usually used to. Our next one is Matsureo Ojiro, whose only thing that I could say about him is that he just has a tail, and he can use it. That's it. There is Hento Seto, aka Flex Tape, because he can shoot cellophane tape from his elbows. Just imagine Phil Swift doing that. I would actually watch his advertisements millions and millions of times, more than I usually do. There is Koji Koda, aka Dr. Do Nothing, aka the love child between Dwayne The Rock Johnson and the Coneheads, whose quirk is that he can talk to animals but is very afraid of insects. And finally, it's Rikido Sato, aka the Sugar Daddy, aka the Diabeast, whose quirk gives him 5 times his normal strength when he consumes 10 grams of sugar, but at the same time, his brain functions gradually degrade. So after going through all of that, let's get back into the story. As Izuku is getting suited into his class, he takes a physical test to evaluate how he and the other class use their quirks, headed by Shota Aizawa, his homeroom teacher, whose quirk is that he is able to erase others' quirks so long as they remain in his line of sight. As for Izuku, the test once again ends with him still not being able to control his quirk properly, but he is able to succeed as that the exam was just a complete fake out when Aizawa says that whoever fails was going to be expelled. After a quick mock battle sequence that showed us really how everyone uses their quirk, Class 1A is sent to a large training facility known as the Unforeseen Training Joint, or USJ, to learn how to act in a disaster in certain situations like a thunderstorm, a fire, an earthquake, and a hurricane. But before they get ready, a group known as the League of Villains arrive, led by Tomuda Shigaraki, whose quirk is known as Decay, which means that he can destroy anything he touches with the goal to kill All Might. The villains use their powers to scatter and ambush the students in order to attract All Might for a trap, but after Shigaraki discovers that one student, Tenya Aida, had left the facility to go for help, he decides instead to kill the students, just to hurt All Might's pride before they leave, and while they were getting ready for that, All Might shows up at USJ. It was at this point that Shigaraki unleashes his secret weapon, a multi-quirk monster known as Nomu against All Might, who has some trouble fighting against him at first, until Izuku and some other students arrive to assist him, but All Might has little time before he runs out of power to defeat the creature in order to protect the school, as Izuku is the only one that knows about his true secret. And his true secret is that he can only be in his strong position for only about a few hours at a time before he can go down to his frail position. But the problem is, no one knows about his frail image. So he always shows up as All Might, the superhero, instead of All Might, the homeless person. But in the end, with barely any energy left, he defeats Nomu but is defenseless against Shigaraki. But fortunately, Izuku manages to stall the enemy long enough for the other teachers to arrive and to force him to retreat. And the season ends with All Might and Class 1A being saved, and Shigaraki declaring to his master, known as All for One, that their feud with the heroes is only beginning. Keep in mind that I'll be reviewing this season, Season 1, on its own, not adding anything from Season 2 or 3, which is what I'll be doing in those videos. When I review Season 2, I'm going to add stuff from Season 1, and when I review Season 3, I'm going to be adding stuff from Seasons 1 and 2. That's how it's going to go, and if I keep making these projects with other shows, and that's going to be the same format as well. At first glance, the story in Season 1 came off as a little childish to me, which I'm pretty sure was their point in the first place. After Izuku gets into UA, the excitement really goes downhill, with bad jokes, predictable events, and a childish plot, making it look more like an American cartoon that you would see on Nickelodeon or Cartoon Network, which, in my opinion, is the reason why this show is so popular. I'm not saying it's childish like it's a bad thing. Like, the fact that it has a predictable plot or bad jokes is a bad thing. I'm saying that because of this, this can be the next big shonen anime. This could actually topple Naruto as the top shonen anime if it hasn't already at this point right now. I'm not talking about just Season 1. And it's one of the very few shows that are in this genre that can appeal to all ages. The art in this show was done by Studio Bones, who has also worked on, again, very well-known shows like One Punch Man, Mob Psycho 100, and another one of my favorite shows, Full Metal Alchemist and Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. And their art style is very similar to One Punch Man and Mob Psycho, in which it looks like you're reading a comic book, which I'm okay with, especially towards the action scenes in this season, where it really shows its best work. The opening and the ending for this season was really good. With the opening titled The Day by the most misunderstood band name ever, Porno Graffiti, which has also done a number of other openings as well, fits the mood really well with the visuals, and the talented voice acting cast on both the sub and the dub did a really good job, and the original soundtrack during the action scenes especially also did really good as well. As for the characters that those voice actors were cast in, they were, for Season 1, to say the least, pretty lame. Everyone is either silly or one-dimensional or just simply annoying. Sure, really the only thing that we know about them at this point, and keep in mind, Season 1 is that they all have different quirks, and I just mentioned all of them just earlier. In my opinion, Bakugo is the most annoying of all the characters, as, again, he is just there to bully Izuku. And I'm not going to leave Izuku out of the woods here either. He also has some stuff against him as well. In this season, although he has the most character development by light years in front of everyone else, he is both the best character and the worst character to look up to. On one hand, he's good to look up to because he spends the most time chasing his dream and getting into UA, but on the other hand, he is just a lame ass who usually cries over stupid things instead of just fighting like a man sometimes. All Might, the strongest hero in the world, is the silliest childhood hero-like character I've ever seen, and it's awesome. He has got some weird hairstyle and dialogues with nothing really to go for it, and Aizawa the teacher is really the only character that I saw interesting and mature out of all of them, as he reminded me of Kakashi Hatake from Naruto a little bit. Again, don't let my take on the characters tell you that I don't like this show. I absolutely enjoy this show. Just, if you were to look at the first season by itself, it doesn't really present much, which, in this case, means that seasons 2 and 3 are going to have a lot of stuff in store. And it's with that I'm going to give season 1 of My Hero Academia a 7 out of 10. For what it is, which is a follow-up to future seasons, it's pretty good. Even though its plot is weird, the characters are silly, and almost everything is predictable, I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt and say that these are some of the reasons why you should watch this show. There's a reason why this show appeals to all ages, and it all starts in Season 1. Thank you guys for watching my Hero Academia Season 1 review. If you like this video, hit the like button down below. And if you want to see more anime review videos, you can hit the subscribe button either on the screen or down below as well. And if you want to see review videos that I've made, there's going to be a couple that are on the screen as well as more on my channel down below. And with that out of the way, my name is Payne, and we'll see you in the next video. Plus Ultra.